Hey guys, I want to talk to you today about a rule of life. This is something that exists in the entire universe. It's called form equals function. How things are shaped and designed dictates how they work. Seems like a simple concept, but I guarantee you we're breaking this rule throughout our normal everyday existence, right? Rule basically states that round things roll because they are round. You ever try to roll a square? Right? Roll a die. Does it roll smoothly? No. Ever try to roll a football? Does not work very well, right? It wobbles all over the place because its form dictates how it's going to function, right? Tables stand because they have four, sometimes three legs. Tables don't stand with two or one leg. It's very difficult, right? So our form dictates our function. When we have a deformation, we're going to have a dysfunction of our body, right? And these things kind of play back and forth, right? Our form equals our function, meaning if I stand upright, I'm going to be able to do more upright things and be more functional. If my body's aligned the way it's supposed to be, I'm going to be able to move the way that I'm supposed to. However, at the same time, if I start to slouch and maybe, I'll make up a job. I'm a watchsmith, right? And I'm tinkering at my watches. I'm a jeweler, and I'm completely hunched over like this all day, every day. Where do you think my spine's going to go over a couple of days, couple of years, couple of months, right? We've all taken a 4-hour car ride. You get out of the car on your way up to Albany. It's about 4 hours away. And after 4 hours of sitting in the car, you get up and you stand, you try to take a walk, and it takes you like 4 to 5 minutes to be able to stand up and actually walk correctly because your body has changed its form based on what position it was in, right? So your body doesn't function well walking because you've been curled up in a ball sitting in the car. Imagine that for 4 weeks, 4 months, 4 years, 40 years of having specific forms and functions, right? So things to think about, like shoulder positioning. Most people don't get rotator cuff injuries by lifting weights or by throwing things. They get these injuries by repeating movements in the wrong or improper patterns, right? Simply by sitting with a bad posture, letting yourself slouch, or letting the shoulders come forward, or even if you're sitting up tall but the shoulders are forward. Having the shoulder misaligned like this is going to cause a dysfunction in the alignment of how that cup and saucer works, right? So your shoulder is basically like a golf club sitting into like a little pocket or a little groove. And if that's not aligned correctly, if it's like this, you're going to have a dysfunction on how the body moves, right? And these injuries, this is how injuries occur, right? They very rarely happen spontaneously. Between 2 to 5% of recorded injuries are actually a like, oh, I moved, I twisted, bam, something exploded inside my body and ruptured. More often than not, it's a, hey, I've been doing push-ups. Ah, you know what? My shoulder hurts today. Oh, it's okay. Like, when I work out, it feels better, so I'll just go and do some more. And you do some more with your elbows out, and you're like, oh, it hurts more. And, after years and thousands of repetitions, that happens. Same things happen running, right? Running, believe it or not, actually happens in a shorter amount of time because you know what? When you go to the gym and you're doing those bicep curls at the gym, how many do you do? 3 sets of 12 maybe if you're like one of the Globo gym guys or girls. You do 3 sets of 12 and you're done. You did 36 reps. How far do you go if you take 36 reps running? What's 36 steps running? 50 feet? 60 feet maybe, right? Like not that far, but when you go for a run, you're like, hey, I'm doing an 8-mile run today, or even a 1-mile run. How many steps goes into that? It's a way bigger distance, right? So that's that many more repetitions you're doing. If you're doing that run and your toes are flaring out on one foot, how do you think that's going to have an effect on your toes, your ankle, your knee, your hip? Your shoulder's going to be out of alignment, your neck's compensating, everything in your body's compensating. If you don't believe me, walk around one day with one high heel, or if you're a dude, a boot on, and a sneaker or barefoot on the other foot. Just do it for an hour, and let me know how great your shoulders and neck feel. And the change is in your feet, but the feet are the foundation for your body. Right? A foundation in a house starts to crack on one side and drop down. Do you think the roof's going to stay in alignment? No, everything changes, right? So when we have form and function issues in the body, we have to look and see what our mechanics are and what we're doing to correct them. This is super important when we're working out, especially because we're going through multiple repetitions and we're doing so under demands that's causing our body to have to adapt. Right? So as we move and as we practice, make sure that your number one thing that you're working on is making sure you're moving with quality and care. Right? Because if you're going to go and move and lift an extra 10 or 20 pounds, but you're going to do it in a bad position, all you're doing is either creating an environment for an injury to happen faster or creating an environment to an injury to happen over a long period of time because you're learning bad muscle movement patterns, and muscle memory is going to program your brain to tell your muscles that that's the position they're supposed to be in. So by keeping yourself in a good position and maintaining that throughout the day, you're going to have better form, and thereby you will have better function, and I will guarantee you will have a better life because of it. Take that and rock. Hey, I hope you enjoyed that video. I'd like to invite you to be part of our community by subscribing below. Stay up to date with our notifications by hitting that little bell icon. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave them in the box below and I'll get back to you.